Eastern Standard Time. My name is Frank Anderson. Welcome to the members-only webinar of the Instant Reseller Club. Your thing is popping up all over my screen. Sorry about that. So as per normal, please let me know, can you hear me, see me, all that good stuff. Belinda says yes. Bill says coming in loud and clear. Okay, 5 by 5. All right. So we're going to go through some stuff today. And don't worry if you don't catch everything that I'm going to say. First of all, this probably is nothing you haven't heard before. But unfortunately, nobody gives it any special attention, and these really are, in my experience, the things that stop people from making money. I was doing some research today, and people had 21 things and 53 things that stop you making money, and they were putting all kinds of stuff in. While I found that, depending on what list I was reading, there certainly is a lot of truth to most of these things, and in some of the categories we're going to talk about tonight, of course, you can break them down into many things. But in my experience, what we're going to talk about today are the biggest stumbling blocks to why people don't make money online. Okay? All right, so I know for the longest time, I'd say to myself, you know, why can't I make any money online? Like, I'm trying hard, I'm working hard, I'm doing some of the things that they say to do, I'm doing my best to learn as fast as I can, I'm trying to stay focused, all of these things, you know. And what used to really bug me, to tell you the truth, is that I would know people that were dumber than dirt making more money than me, and that would drive me, like, it would just drive me damn near insane. So who here on this webinar feels the exact same way? Who knows somebody that, you know, doesn't have enough intelligence to find themselves out of a paper bag, but they know for a fact they're making money online? Greg says, Greg knows somebody. Anybody else? Anybody else? Because to me, that used to be the biggest paradox for me. I'm not a stupid guy. And for most of my online career, I didn't make any money. All right. So we'll go through some of the reasons. First one is you don't know how to. Okay, so what I wanted to say at the beginning, sorry, I'm just backtrack, is we're going to go over this quickly, and we're not gonna have no hour-and-a-half webinar tonight. I'm going to do my very best to come in each and every webinar under an hour. Okay. I know we're all busy, and an hour and a half is just too long to drag along. So I'm going to go through this quickly, and you're going to see at the end, I'm going to say it at the beginning, and I'm going to say it at the end, that if there's one of these elements that is particularly haunting you, and you're not sure that you've watched this webinar and you went to this section that we're discussing tonight, and you still can't put a beat on it for you, and you need some help, then I will give you some one-on-one complimentary coaching. Okay? All right. So you don't know how to. You know, what do we do when we don't know how? Well, the first thing is you have to believe. It doesn't matter your background, anybody can do this. If you don't believe you can, and if your intimidation factor is high, okay, you're sunk before you start. And out of all of the coaching that I've done, when people say they don't know how, I usually find it's intimidation factor. They're going to learn something, right? I sell lots of software. We do support, and I'll get a lot of people. They just don't get it. And I talk to the people, and they're certainly intelligent enough to get it. So why is it that they're not getting it? And it's purely intimidation factor. So I give this analogy, okay? If you take a look at exactly what has to take place for a car to turn on and operate so that you could use it, it's mind-boggling how complex an automobile is. So much so that even mechanics are now so specialized that the days of the backyard mechanic are gone, okay? An automobile is an incredibly complex piece of machinery, but you don't have to know none of that, do you? You have to know where to put the key in, to turn it on, and you have to know how to drive. Isn't the internet very similar to that? I mean, if we try to think about how it functions and how it all works, like that is just, I have no idea. I mean, that's complex stuff. But why do we care? If I want to be a coder and I want to be one of those hacker dudes, I guess I'm going to want to know that. But if I want to use that tool to benefit me, I just have to know how to drive it. And when we get stuck and we're intimidated, it's because we're trying, our minds are trying to search so hard for how to piece this whole thing together, when the fact is you just have to know the things that you need to know, and the rest doesn't matter. Okay, I hope I was clear and not clear as mud on that. Okay, then the next thing is, and this is one of my biggest pet peeves, is people are looking for the magic bullet. Every day my inbox is full of marketers trying to sell me products that for $7 or $27 are going to provide me an instant flood of traffic. I don't have to do anything. Hell, I don't even have to get out of bed, right? You know, don't have to know anything, don't have to do anything. And for the longest time, I was so desperate to make money, I clung to that like you wouldn't believe. I would say to myself, this can't be true. And then the little voice in my mind would say, what if it's true? What if this guy really does have the push button secret to some magic traffic source, and I'm going to have 50,000 visitors come to my product, service, or opportunity by this time tomorrow for only $7? You know, hell, for $2,700, that would be a good deal, right? 50,000 visitors to your website. But it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Anytime you see any headlines or titles telling you about the most valuable resource, right? Traffic and leads are the most valuable resource online. It takes some time to learn how to get them. And thankfully, we found some shortcuts. Can you do it better? Can you do it smarter? Can you do it easier? Absolutely. All of those things are true. No magic bullet, right? You still have to do the work. You know, people are always looking for the single magic bullet that will totally change everything. There is no magic bullet. All right, and I know most of the people on here are saying, I know that, Frank. I know that, Frank. The next time the little voice in your head says, oh, what about this? I wonder if this will work. Tell yourself, you know, what are they saying that it will do? How much money are they asking for it? You know, it's one thing if they're going to sell you something for $7 and then you have to put some action into it and it might produce some results. Lots of good products like that. You know, they'll show you a thing that you have to do 1 hour a day, let's say. And it'll work if you put the hour a day, but no magic bullet. You need the work, okay? The next thing that wipes everybody out is lack of patience. Okay, you know how many people since they've joined here, and I've showed them my viral marketing secret, have like shared with 3 people online and told me nobody signed out, your thing's garbage, I'm out of here. Okay, well, good luck. Good luck doing it the manual way. You can't do it the viral way that is, works like magic for me, but, good luck to you. But that's what happens. People get going in their business, and it's 30 days later, and they haven't made $1,500, or they haven't recouped their money, whatever their investment is. Whether it's a $10 investment or a $200 investment, it's not reasonable in business that you're going to recoup it in 30 days. It's not reasonable. Okay, there's no other business model in the world that works that way. Can you make a couple sales in 30 days? So if your break even is very low, sure, that could be reasonable. Can you make a full-time income in 30 days? All of the people that I've ever followed that had tremendous, like that went from like $0 to $30,000 a month in 90 days, here's what they don't tell you. They don't tell you the 7 to 15 year story of chasing people around Walmart selling Amway and going to every sales seminar ever in the history of the world and reading every book on the subject and prospecting 10 hours a day, 7 days a week for a decade. And then all of a sudden they found one ingredient and boom, they had a quantum leap. Okay? But it didn't take them 90 days to get to $30,000 a month. It took them a decade or more. That's the truth of the matter. I don't know anybody who that's not true for. I was reading a long time ago when that girl Lady Gaga come all of a sudden out of nowhere. Nobody knew who she was, and then she was just about one of the hottest things on the planet. Okay? And she had tied the record for the most #1 hits on an album and all of this stuff, and people calling her an overnight success. Well, the kid started doing rock and roll shows in the bars at 12 years old. Okay? So I don't know about overnight. Could you imagine how hard she worked her ass off? Okay? So if you do not have the patience and stamina to finish the race, you can't win in this game. You have to pick your path, you have to believe that you can do it, and go step by step, and it will come. If you quit before you get there, well, you can't succeed, right? This is a huge, huge one, and it certainly was for me, okay? Focus has always been a very difficult thing for me because I'm a marketing nut. I want to know everything about everything. I love to talk about marketing. I love to see what that guy over there is doing with Snapchat and Instagram and what's that name of the new thing that they just started? Oh, this guy here making all of a sudden he's making $1,000 a day. Well, I want to know. I want to know how he's doing it. Okay? But if I'm chasing all the shiny objects and I have no focus, how can I stick to my plan? If my plan was learn this software that I just bought because I seen it working in action, that's why I bought it. If that's my plan, learn it, make a campaign, put it into action so that I can make some mistakes, I can find out what works and what doesn't work. But if I'm over here chasing the next shiny new object, particularly the magic bullet ones, then how am I going to get any traction? How am I going to get any focus? Right? I showed you guys when I do my screen share in a little while, I'll show it again, but I showed you this little, what's the word for it? A little plugin or extension for my browser. So when I open up a new window in my browser, it tells me how many leads I got that day. And it tells me my goal. Okay, my goal is 65 a day. So we had hardly any internet yesterday, and I was busy catching up with people. I did several Skype calls and prepared for this webinar, and worked on a brand new email campaign for you guys. And I got 17 leads today. Well, my goal is 65. So when I open up a new tab, because I want to see what this guy's up to, look, that article looks really cool. Well, that may be very good for me to know the information in the article. But the number staring in front of me is the most important one. My business requires 65 leads per day to grow. I cannot move from the spot that I am if I do not increase that amount of daily leads. Now, for most people, I can give them a realistic goal of 10. 10 or 300 a month, right? Where we can get you to a subscriber list of very close to 1,000 people in 90 days, okay? 97% of the internet marketing world does not have 1,000 people on their subscribers list. And I can show you how to do it easily in 3 or 4 months. But when you got another idea in your head, like I got all kinds of bright ideas, I open up another tab when I'm supposed to be doing something, and I'm off doing something else. And this one particular plugin for me saves my ass every time, because I look at that number and I say, oh, that has to be accomplished first. Some days it's awesome. It's noon, I've already accomplished that number. And on that day, if I want to see what something that's come into my inbox and I look at it as really good training and I'm going to spend an hour to learn that thing, then I can justify it because my primary task is done. And the lead generation can be god-awful boring, particularly when you're doing it the manual way. But it is it's a thing that's going to make you all the money. Without the leads, you can't get the subscribers, and without the subscribers, you do not have multiple opportunities to market to somebody, and without multiple opportunities to market to somebody, it's incredibly, incredibly, incredibly difficult to make money daily, right? And that's my goal. Even if it's a small amount, I want some money coming in every single day. So one of my favorite things, my tablet's not there, one of my favorite things is when I open my tablet and turn it on, I can see the PayPal symbols. And I get a little thrill when there's 5, 6, 7, or 8 of them in a row. Hell, some of them are less than $10. Some of them might be $50. But I love that PayPal symbol. And if I don't stay focused, I don't do the marketing tasks that are required, okay? There's all kinds of tasks that my business needs, but marketing and money-making tasks have to come first. 80% of my day has to be spent lead generation or emailing my list. That's 80% of my day, right? Or sometimes for me, support and meeting with people, it's the same thing. You know, there's customer acquisition, and then there's keeping your customers, keeping your relationship very strong with your customers. So I may be having a conversation, and like I offer to help you, for example, right? So I put that in that marketing category because you're on this journey with me. So if I spend time with you, that's part of that 80%. But lead generation and whatever you're planning to monetize, you have to focus on that. Focus and push out the shiny objects. Put something, like I said, like I do on my browser, that tells me you haven't reached your goal today. You cannot do anything else until you reach that goal. Okay? All right. So Alicia, pop that link in the chat. But please don't go set it up now, okay? We're going to finish the webinar, and then you can set it up and play with it. All right. So you got the shiny object syndrome, and then you got taken on too much. So for me, I didn't want to be a master at Facebook. I wanted to master Facebook and LinkedIn and Google Plus, and oh yeah, there's this thing called IBO Toolbox, and there's over 100,000 just network marketers on there. I better man to handle that. And then oh, they told me about this other one. Maybe that's pretty good too. Oh yeah, should I do Pinterest or should I do, well, is that reasonable? Is that reasonable? If I read something and somebody tells me that they're making 50 to 100 leads a day on Pinterest, then that's a good place to focus. But in my experience, it's going to have a learning curve, right? So if I picked Pinterest first, then until I'm making 50 to 100 leads a day on Pinterest, I would not work anything else. Nothing. Zero. Because then you're a master at that, right? Then you can easily add the next social platform. So if you're new or relatively new, they're all good. Pick one and say to yourself, you know what? The others, they honestly do not matter until you're good at one. I show you some tricks on how to go from one to the other for lead generation. And that's okay because joining up, connecting with people, and messaging people are about the same on all of them. But to really understand them, run campaigns, and do the ninja stuff, you make sure you're a ninja on one before you start taking on the next one. There's just too much information out there, and you're taking on too much. And then I find what happened to me is I would get paralysis by analysis. All of a sudden, there's too much, and my brain can't sort it all, and now I'm stuck, like my shoes are in cement. And then here I am going, I'm working hard. I'm working harder than anybody I know, and I'm making less money than anybody I know. How the hell is that even possible? Okay, well, I'm doing too much, maybe. So it's very, very important, right? Master one thing. Well, forget the master. Just be good. If you said to yourself, I'm going to generate 10 leads a day on Facebook, then do it. If you reach that goal consistently, no problem, then try LinkedIn or Twitter or another one, whichever one you want. But make a goal, hit it before you start concentrating too much in a different area, okay? And this is the one that I think, out of all of them, that is the most important and the biggest reason why people don't make money, okay? You're not taking action. I give somebody a special giveaway campaign. Okay, I used to have this giveaway campaign. There was $40,000 in prizes. Okay, so we're sharing it, and very easy to get a yes. And people are saying, it's not working for me, it's not working for me. Well, how can that be? How can that be? My conversion rate's about 40%. Everybody I share it with shares it with somebody else. Why is it working for me and not you? These people don't know me. I'm just sharing it, right? Well, the answer is because they're not doing it. Or they do it 3 times and somebody says, don't spam me with your link, and they quit. I know it's not nice to hear something negative, but really, that angry person has nothing to do with you. And it's not like you were on the telephone and they were yelling at you, right? Like, really. If they said something angry, block their ass on Facebook or whatever it is, and just move on, right? Some will, some won't. Who's next? And when we're talking about social media, it's very passive. It's not like we're trying to sell somebody to something, like, calling them up with the phone or trying to recruit our friends and family and hearing the dreaded no. We're just sharing freebies, right? and nobody would do it. Nobody would do it. And I couldn't figure it out. I found the holy grail for all of their lead generation problems, and they would not do it. Create them a campaign that works like magic and watch them generate no leads or 2 or 3 leads and then quit. What's even more baffling is I've seen people work it hard for 3 or 4 days, generate over 100 leads, and then quit. Like, you know, I'm not sure what to say, but imperfect action is better than perfect action. And that was my biggest stumbling block. I want everything to be perfect. I want it to be a certain way. When I get this done, then I'll do this, then I'll get that, right? So when this is ready to go, then I'll go on to the next step, and I'll get the next thing. I was at a conference one time, and I heard a guy say, I'm going to give you, this guy was making about $100,000 a month, and he said he's going to give me the secret to success. So I got my pen and pad ready, and I'm ready for this secret, right? Because I think that some of the simplest things are the most powerful things. So this is what he said: be, do, have. Because we got it all backwards, right? He said, be the person you want to be, then do the things you got to do, and then you'll have the things you want. But we got it backwards. We say, when I have this, then I'll do that, and then I'll be this. But it's not that way. You want to be successful? Pretend, for crying out loud. You just close your eyes, take a quiet moment to feel how that would feel to have the success that you want, right? Your picture is super specific to you. What is it going to feel like? You know, what kind of car are you going to drive? What kind of house are you going to live in? Are you going to be in a place like Belize, like I am, right? Be that person first. Fake it till you make it kind of thing. But then you have to follow it up with massive action, okay? So I want to talk about action for a second, because there are a handful of things that rob us from taking action. And I think because this is, I think, the #1 cause of not bringing in the money, okay? So what motivates action, okay? What are the reasons behind the lack of action? So you got practical reality and physical constraints. Does anybody have any idea what the hell I'm talking about here? Just chime in the chat room if you know what I'm talking about. These are what practical or physical things would stop you from action. All right, let's go on. What if you had a learning impairment? Okay? You know, I've done business with people that were born healthy but have had bad car accidents. And whether it's a brain injury or some other things that they struggle with legitimate pain, okay? They either are born a particular way or they're injured somehow. So that's a serious impairment to action. What if they can't always act, even if they're doing the best they can? Now, why am I giving you some of these examples? Because some of them are real, right? But most of the things that we'll put on this list are bullshit. I mean, if you have a brain injury through a car accident, you have some serious challenges, but that doesn't stop some people. They do what they can do when they can do it, because they believe that they'll get some results, and they'll do what they can when they can, right? When perfectly healthy people like me we're, you know, we're paralyzed and not doing any kind of action. And then, like I said, I'm outperformed by somebody who has some serious issues. Well, at least that person have an excuse. I didn't have an excuse. What if you got bad eyesight and you can't look at the computer very long, right? So maybe your job, maybe to do this, I'm going to tell you that, okay, it takes 4 hours a day on the internet. Well, what if you can't really do it? Okay, well, if that's really true, and that's your impairment, maybe you can't make $100,000 a month. Maybe you would have to settle for a little bit less. But then I think about what about the mom or the dad, the single mom or dad who works 2 jobs and takes care of 4 children? You know, that's one of those practical things, right? That's your life. That's your life. That's your reality. But I mean, I had a grandmother with 16 children who worked from probably about 4:30 in the morning till about 11 o'clock at night. Never, ever, ever a break. And cook, clean, and all of these things when there was no modern gizmos, right? They didn't make excuses back then. You had to do stuff to survive. Us fat cats, we live in such a cushy world. Even when we don't have any money, life's pretty good if you compare it to living in that generation that I just told you about. And, you know, washing clothes by hand, right? Cooking and cleaning and, oh my God, I don't even know how she could do something like that. I mean, but I know people who have that. I know this lady here in Belize, she has 2 children. She's on like about 49 committees and just started her own real estate company. Where does she get the time? I'll tell you where she gets it. She takes all the time that she makes, that we all spend making excuses, and she uses that time, right? For her, it's just, she just goes from one thing to the other. I mean, I envy her because, you know, she's just this, she does not look at her physical world and all the stuff that makes up her life, and she doesn't look at that as in any negative way. There are no negative, there are no barriers. And a person who doesn't see any barriers, there are none. But I always see barriers. I can't do this. I don't have, you know, I don't have the money. I don't have the time. Barriers, barriers. Well, you can see the barriers, or you can move through the barriers, right? There's only action. Okay? What if your computer keeps breaking down, or it's super old, and you're poor, and you can't buy another computer? Okay, well then maybe your action is going to be slower. But it's going to be none if you bitch and whine about it and spend 4 hours at your friend's house complaining about your computer. Go to the library, borrow somebody else's computer for 2 hours a week. Whatever it happens to be, you can make an excuse, or you can figure out a solution. And even for the areas where there is no solution, this is the deal you're dealt, and you just have to live with it. You can still get progress, right? Progress, not perfection. A little bit forward, but it takes action to do that. So then the other barrier is lack of understanding. And, you know, we went through that already. I think it's mostly fear and what's the word that I used at the beginning? It just seems so overwhelming that you can't pick out one thing. If you got a lack of understanding, pick one thing. Even if you pick the wrong thing, at least when you're done, you'll know that one thing. And then you say, oh, I should have started over here. Okay, well, no big deal. This piece of information and the knowledge you have that you would have learned second, third, or fourth, well, you have it now, okay? You'll go back and you'll start where you're supposed to start. But don't get stuck on what should I do first. When you don't know, well, one, you can talk to me about your situation. I'll be happy to give you the benefit of my experience. And even if you make a mistake, so long as you stay focused on one thing, you'll learn that one thing, and you'll be able to capitalize on that knowledge when you're ready, right? Lack of resources. Here's a big one. So what kind of resources? Tell me an example of the kind of resources that could prevent you from action. Yeah, I just stopped for a second to read some of the things. Greg's fishing in the wrong pond with the wrong bait. The good news is, maybe that's true, but you're going to learn about a better fishing hole, and you're going to learn about better bait, right? You don't become a master fisherman right off the bat. You just don't, and Dusty's talking about a particular thing that I believe, I'm trying to remember the name of the book, and I found it so fascinating because in the book, the whole concept is just the next little step. It's not about any major strategies. It's just about being consistent in the next step. And what they describe is the quantum leap. Okay, you need in science, for a quantum leap to happen, that's where they basically go from one point over here to another point over there, like that, right? Almost like traveling through like a black hole or whatever they call that. So they know that happens in science, and they know they have to hit a critical mass. They got to get enough momentum till they get to a particular point, and then boom, they go from here to here in the blink of an eye. And while they disagree on exactly how much force and energy it takes to make critical mass, what they do agree on, it's one tiny step after another that leads you to that critical mass. Think about anything that you're good at in life. Didn't it all work the same? You either weren't that good at it or you didn't really understand it, and then all of a sudden one day that light bulb goes off and it's clear as a bell. Like you went from just going through the motions to really knowing what the hell's going on. Whether it's a trade you worked in or the job you're in, step by step, you went from just getting a paycheck to now being one of the people at that job who, you go from being a student in university to being the engineer, right? You don't know nothing when you start, but it takes 4 years, maybe another 4 or 5 in the field, and then you are incredibly, you might be the builder of bridges now, where there's no chance you could have built a bridge the decade before. You hit a quantum leap, and you struggle to learn little bit and little bit and little bit of education, and then all of a sudden you just absorb a ton in a blink of an eye. Well, this is how this works. And I went through several of these in the last year where I'm not doing anything different, but my income doubles. But in the years where I could barely make enough money to pay my bills, I used to wonder, when the hell is that ever going to happen? But if you stop and you're not acting, you'll lose the momentum. There'll be no quantum leap. Okay, so lack of resources. Dale says, I don't have a computer, lack of money, or no extra money at all. Okay, so one of the two things, Dale, is 100%. Anybody, like you could talk about all kinds of resources, but I'm going to break it down into two. Okay? Not enough money and not enough time. These are legitimate challenges for us. Okay? But we can't get around that. No matter who you are, there's never enough time. Whether you're broke or a billionaire, there ain't enough time. So it is what it is. And the money situation, if you don't have enough, isn't that why you're doing this in the first place? So the trick for me is that when I'm struggling about something I don't have enough of, I have to use that to fuel my fire. I don't have enough. I'm sick and tired of not having enough. I want this, whatever that is for me. Picture it. Picture it. Want it. Feel like I have it. Get that burning desire for it, and then use the frustration of not having enough money or not having enough time for you to fuel my ambition to action. Am I going to put in 8 hours of work today or 12 hours? What did it require? Okay, could I do it in 4? Great if I could. But I'll tell you, I have a lot of 4-hour, 5-hour days sometimes now if I really had it and I slow down, but I have a lot of 12 or 16-hour days to get where I am. But I'm living in a tropical country now, right? My life is a lot different than it was just a short year and a half ago. But I did a lot of action to get here, okay? Now, this is the biggest thing that I think will wipe us out. Yeah, Bruce made a comment, and it's funny because we're getting into exactly what he's talking about there. Limiting beliefs. Okay, so what is a limiting belief? What are they? Right? And you notice that I got it. It's a brick wall in your brain. Okay? And the thing about it is, it's a belief. So we have our conscious mind, right? That's me and you talking to each other. We make our decisions, we do our actions. And then we have our subconscious mind that runs the show, right? Really? Right? Pumps our heart, our lungs, oxygenates the blood, repairs our cells. Me and you, when we're awake and talking, we can handle about 3 to 5 bits of information at one time. Most of us can't even handle 3 to 5 bits of information. Like walking and chewing bubble gum for me is a challenge on some days. But my mind, my subconscious mind, this marvelous mechanism can handle 20 million bits of information simultaneously. And if there is a belief in that mechanism, in my subconscious, that says that I cannot do it, or I should not do it, that's a limiting belief. And you're in deep, deep trouble if you have one of those in your mind, because a wall has been built there and will stop you. Can anybody give me an example of a limiting belief? Like Bruce give a real good example. Being swayed by others' voices and not following your own, okay? If people told you you cannot do it or you are no good, if that becomes a belief in your mind because you believe what others say, then your subconscious mind believes it. And if your subconscious mind believes it, how are you going to accomplish it? You need the help of your subconscious to accomplish anything. Hell, it runs the show, right? It's the superpower behind all of your creative thought. And if it's not on your side, you're in deep shit. Yeah, so Dusty's saying a 4-minute mile, right? So at one time, that was a much higher number. You couldn't do a 5-minute mile. And there's no way we can do a 4-minute mile. And then before a car was created, there was a belief that if you went over 10 or 20 miles an hour, you'd incinerate yourself, like you would just, your molecules couldn't held together. That's a belief, because one time we thought the world was flat, but that's not quite what I'm talking about here. Now, in Dusty's case, if you're a runner and you believe you cannot run faster than 4 minutes, you have no chance of ever running faster than 4 minutes. Zero chance, zero. If your mind believes it's not possible, it is not possible for you, period. Yeah, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Okay? So it doesn't matter which path you choose. If you think you can, you're absolutely right. If you think you can't, you're absolutely right. But I want to talk about some very specific limiting beliefs. Okay? So, what about deep in your mind, if you believe you don't deserve it? I heard a guy talk about the subconscious mind. With all its powers, it's like a 4 or 6-year-old child. And if that 4 or 6-year-old child thinks you don't deserve it, it's going to mess around with the wires in your head and produce those actions. You don't deserve it. You don't deserve it. You can't get it. But I want to talk about money, because that's what we're here to talk about. Okay? If I think money is evil, that the root of, like we have that saying, right? Money is the root of all evil. We grow up taught that. Money is the root of all evil. It's nonsense. Money is money. Okay? It's not either good nor bad. People can be bad. Hell, they can be damn right evil. But money has nothing to do with that. What a person does and how a person acts has to do with that person. Okay? So, but if I believe having money is evil, and deep down in my heart of hearts, I don't want to be evil, do you think my subconscious mind is going to let me accumulate any money? No. No matter how hard I go toward the money on my subconscious will trip me up every single time. It won't let me have the money if I believe that money is evil. What if I believe that I'm going to turn into a world-class asshole if I'm rich? You know? I used to believe that every time I seen a guy in a Mercedes or a car that cost over $100,000, my mind would immediately think, who did that person screw over to get that car? Because that's what I was taught all my life. That rich people screwed somebody over to get rich. You can't be good and rich. You can't be. And we all know great examples of bad people who have a lot of money. History is full of them, right? But we don't concentrate on all of the people that have a lot of money and have done a lot of good. We don't because that's not interesting, right? That's not interesting or shocking. And let's face it, the people who are truly altruistic and they donate millions of dollars to charity, they don't have their names written on the sides of buildings or libraries because they're not concerned about that. They're doing it for the greater good. So we never know who they are, but they're there, okay? There's all kinds of people who have tremendous wealth that are kind and helpful. But I grew up believing the opposite. So every time I went to try to accumulate money, the little voice in my head would say, I didn't even know this for the longest time. No, we're not letting you do that. You can't do that. We don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that liar, that cheat, and that thief. So my subconscious mind would dig its heels in and make me procrastinate, point me in the wrong direction. Hell, if it can run my heart and my heal all my cells and do 20 million transactions per second, then it certainly can point me in the wrong direction if it thinks I'm going towards something dangerous, right? And if being evil is something I don't want to be, then it's not going to let me go in that direction. So until I could fix that in my mind, till I went on a search and I found all kinds of people that were good, and I found the proof, and I changed my belief, I had no chance of making any money. Another one is, what if it's lonely at the top, right? We've heard that. How many times have we heard that? Well, if you don't want to be lonely, are you ever going to get to the top? No, you're not getting to the top. Now, lonely at the top, how full of crap is that? How lonely do you have to be if you have so much damn money you can fly all your friends anywhere you want to go? That's not lonely at the top. You have time freedom, you can have the best of everything, and anytime you want to do anything, you can do what you want, when you want, anytime you want. So how could you possibly be lonely, right? Only if you were paranoid, you thought everybody was out to get you, right? And you'd be one of those stupid recluses, but it's not true. Practically, it's not true, okay? All rich people are not evil. Money is not evil. And it's not lonely at the top. But if you believe it is, you have a serious limiting belief that you must change. Okay? So, we don't have time to go through this over and over and over today and handle all the questions. And this is a complex topic. But it's one that I spent at least 2 years studying, because I hit a wall, man, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. So I worked on action and shiny object syndrome and my limiting beliefs. And I worked on these challenges so that, do I still fall victim to it from time to time? Of course, I'm a human being. So it's progress, not perfection. But I'll help you with private coaching. There's no greater passion. I'm a marketing nut. But when it comes to personal development, it's my favorite topic, right? But you see in the bottom here, it says, this offer only works if you take action and schedule a session with me, okay? I'm willing to give you my time, and we can talk about your situation in particular and see if there's a way that we can change any of your limiting beliefs so that you can break through. Because every one of you I've talked to so far, you definitely have all of the intelligence and aptitude to do this. And if you're not doing it, it has to do with one of these 5 things we talked about tonight. Okay, so I said that we were going to try to stay under an hour, so I got a couple things really important that I want to talk to you about. So are we all clear? We just went through some heavy-duty stuff here. It's serious stuff. There's no bigger obstacles than what I discussed for you. We can talk about marketing. For 400 years, you won't make $1 if any one of these things is tripping you up. So when you rewatch this and you go over it and you make some notes and you're honest to yourself, if you find some areas where you think that I might be right here, but you're not sure how to go through, you better schedule an appointment with me, and I will do my best to help you out. Okay? But for now, we are going to now do a little screen share, and I want to show you some cool things that we're doing in the Instant Reseller Club. Just takes a second, as it normally does, for the program to do its thing. Okay, so you see my screen now? You see this big thing there? It says 65 here. So when I started the webinar, I told you I had 17 leads, right? So 4 leads came in while we were on the webinar. Pretty cool, right? Because I don't know what I did to get those 4 leads. But I hardly got any action done yesterday, and I did none today. And I'm fortunate enough that my campaigns are viral so that somebody else is doing some of the work for me, right? It's the only way without paying for advertising that I can get to 65 leads. But this stares me in the face when I open a brand new tab. So when I'm done here tonight, okay, I've been working all day. When I'm done here tonight, I'm going to guarantee you I'm going to be putting some time in to get another 40-some leads, right? I need what? I need 44 leads before the clock strikes 12 for me to hit my goal. If I say, I'm not going to do it today, then it becomes so much easier to ignore it tomorrow. And then tomorrow, it's almost an afterthought, and I don't think about it at all, and it doesn't get done. And then all of a sudden, it's 3 weeks later or 3 months later, and I'm not making any money, and I wonder, what happened? Okay? Consistent action. Like I don't have to do any mind-bending stuff to make another 40 leads, but I'm going to have to put in at least an hour and a half of work when I get finished here, because I didn't do anything for 2 days on this particular task, right? And then I'll reach that goal, or I'll come damn close. And even if I didn't reach it, at the end of the day, I can say to myself, you did everything you could. It's okay not to reach your goals, so long as you've done whatever actions you could possibly take, right? Okay, so now what I want to talk to you about is I want to go to the Instant Reseller Club. Let me minimize that and sign in here.
Hi, and welcome.
Hang on. I don't want to sign in. I want to register.
Welcome.
Okay. So I want to show you. This is our brand new registration page. We took all the branding off. And the reason why we did this is two things. Okay. Since we launched on July 11th, we brought about 1,500 people into the club, okay? And because of all of the sharing that's been done, it's a corporate page. People just numb out your corporate page after a while. So we removed all the branding, and this is all about gifts, gifts, gifts. This video now talks about one thing, okay? It talks about that you are on the biggest, baddest giveaway site on the planet. There's nothing that compares, and it pushes the giveaways, the giveaways, the giveaways, and it pounds into the person's head that there is no place on planet Earth, anywhere on this internet, to find a better free deal, which was going to dramatically increase your conversions. This is what we offer. Sign up here. That's it, plain Jane. Now, another reason why we made this plain Jane is because now that we've pushed the brand for almost 60 days, one of the things that people don't tell you out there is corporate sites stop working. Okay? So if you have a replicated site from your company, you're going to notice that there's no leader out there that uses the replicated sites, because there's 100,000 other people using them, and everybody tunes them out. So they make their own capture pages, right? They make their own offers. So why did we do things like this? Okay, so it says you're in the right place. Because if you went and you made a Headline Creator Pro capture page, right? Because you got this amazing capture page builder. If you make one of these, you capture the lead. That lead goes to your autoresponder. Your autoresponder immediately sends them a message to come to your affiliate link and sign up here to get it, right? But when they come here, what do they hear? You're in the right place. Access your free gifts in 3 easy steps. They don't see a Headline Creator Pro, they see 5 gifts. They listen to me talk for 3 minutes. And then here's what you get. Sign up. That's it, that's all. If this does not double the conversions, I'll be very surprised. Okay? This is a much, much, much improved. We were in such a hurry all the time. I'm always playing catch up, right? We had this idea. We launched this thing really fast. It just blew up. We're almost at 4,000 members, and me and Alicia have barely had a chance to catch our breath, which is good. I'm not complaining. Just that this is my commitment to your success. And some other people had mentioned it to me, and I knew they were right. And I finally said, okay, you know, when the members start saying, Frank, please do it for us, I had meant to do it. I just stopped what I was doing and I did it because it was requested of me, right? You're partners in this after all. Now I'm telling you, make your own capture pages. When I sold you a done-for-you system, do you have to make your own capture page? No, you don't have to. Should you? I recommend it. So there's going to be 2 ways to go here. Next week, you're going to see inside
Hi and welcome.
Inside the exclusive offers here, you're going to see another tab, and it's probably going to say something like lead magnets and giveaways. So what we're going to do is we're going to create pages for you. Now, they would have to be installed on, I'm going to talk about 2 things here. Everybody has got this amazing capture page builder system. So if you don't want to build your own capture page, we'll build one for you, okay? And we'll install it on your own system so you can drive the traffic to it. But really, it's fairly easy, okay? So you click New Page here, and then you get all these options. Look at, they're all done for you, okay? Look at them all. So I want to, I don't know, I want to do, okay, first of all, let's figure out what we're going to we're going to have a text squeeze page, just something really simple, okay? I can preview it. Okay, I can drive people, some of the highest converting pages there are simple like this. Okay, so where do we get the words? Well, you got a headline creator and you got a swipe file, right? I gave you $100 worth of copywriting stuff. You can watch the $120 some. You can watch the copywriting course, or if you want to fast track it, you just go and you search. You search for examples of what these other people are using. So when I go into I made this little file here, and sorry, I got to just lead magnet swipe. So see these here? I just grabbed them because I like them. So I'm just trying to, there was one that was on free course, trouble your traffic. Okay. So I open this up. Okay. You don't have to copy it identical. But you see, this was, you know, somebody probably paid several $100s to get this professionally done, right? But the cool thing is we can take the copy, right? How to write catchy headlines and titles instantly. You know, get catchy titles and headlines done for you, free, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? You don't have to be. It doesn't have. You just play around with that for 5 minutes, get some ideas from somebody else, then come in here Put it in here. If you want to do something better, and you want to have it something cool looking like this, then the same thing, okay? Or I'm just going to pick one here. Like, you know me, I like to do video ones, right? Because I could maybe show a little video of the actual software itself. But what if I want to go nice and simple, super simple here? You know, I'm going to just choose this one. So the entire page is ready for me here. It's got a logo here. I'm going to click on it, right? I'm going to hit the settings, and then now I can start playing around with this logo. You know, okay, well, I don't want to do that. I want to click on here, and I want to click on the pencil, and now I'm going to start typing whatever I want to type in here. It really, even if you don't know what you're doing, in 10 or 15 minutes, you can be done a very professional page. And then after you publish it, you have the link of this page. Of course, this can, you know, you could hook it up with your autoresponder, and I believe, I'm almost 100% positive that even if you don't have one yet, it'll capture the leads inside the software here. So you could get them manually, and you could mail them out one at a time if you wanted to, you know. So not even having an autoresponder set up yet is not a reason to not do this. Create yourself your own pages. Now, we're going to do it for you. And you'll be able to find them in here, and the pages are going to be like ridiculous depending on the situation, but you're going to be looking at about $10. If you want the capture page system page, or you want to promote the Headline Creator Pro, we're going to make a bunch of different ones for the giveaways that are inside there. And if you want to just use those pages, we'll install them on your system here for, like I said, I think about $10 is what we figured is the lowest rate, so that the lady that works for us will do all that manual stuff, email you back and forth, get your information, grab it, install it, all of that stuff, just to cover our costs and give you the tools that you need to have. A capture page system and done for you capture pages, nobody does that for $10, okay? So make your own, I encourage you. Borrow ideas from the stuff that's already out there working like crazy, okay? All right, so I'm just going to close this up here. Now what I want to talk to you about a little bit is I gotta just change this for a second here. Tonight we're trying to get this. We're trying to get this done in the next 5 minutes. The one thing that I did not mention, and I think it's absolutely, positively essential. There's nobody who makes even 5 figures online that does it without a website. Okay, so let me say that again. You need a website to make money online. Now, why is that? The 2 biggest reasons is, number 1, authority. Okay? When you send somebody to a Facebook page, even if it's really nicely done, that's awesome. That's awesome. And if that's all you can do right now, fantastic. But when you send somebody to your website, okay, when I send somebody to, like, I have many different websites and many different platforms, but there was a time I had none. So I had my LinkedIn page and my Facebook page, and that's how people looked at me. They looked at me like I couldn't afford my own website. Like I'm being like ridiculously blunt right now, and I don't mean to offend anybody because I couldn't afford nothing when I started here, okay? So that's the challenge. You absolutely need a website. You need it. It's not negotiable. But the big problem is, if you make a cheap one, you haven't improved your situation. Now you're driving people to a site that looks like, you know, a 9-year-old made it, and now you've probably worsened your situation. You haven't increased your authority, and you have just shown everybody that you don't know anything about marketing. So what's the solution? Well, when you're new and you're struggling to make money online, you can't go spend $600 or $1,000 on a website, which is what it costs to produce a good website, okay? None of these free things are, I don't recommend any of them because, one, they're a subdirectory site, right? And even if you put it on your own domain, you're working on a platform where all of the cool tools out there don't integrate with your platform. So even those free sites, they start at about, if you want to get your own domain, they start at about $12 a month. And like I said, there's all kinds of challenges. And you have to make the site. You have to build it. Okay? Well, I don't know about you, but the first site I built, it wasn't very pretty. Because I'm not a designer, but I had to build it because I didn't have no money, right? And I still had to host it. I had to buy hosting, right? So anyways, you get the site because you need authority. And the second reason why you absolutely need a site is when you go out today to generate leads, you're generating leads for whatever product or service or opportunity you have. But if you're using their site and it's 2 months later or a year later and you decide to change to another company, you have lost all your momentum. See, because in 10 years from now, one thing is still going to be true, right? I'm still going to be me and you're still going to be you. So you need to be promoting you. I don't care if you have the best opportunity on the planet. I'm a big believer that you should not be promoting your opportunity. You should be promoting you, right? Remember, we talked about it in several webinars. You are the most valuable thing you have to offer other people. So it shouldn't be your company name that gets all of the promotion. It should be you. Even if you're using this cool system, the Instant Reseller Club, you should be promoting your page, like you can do with the free one that we gave you, going into your autoresponder, then you send them here. It's the best of all the worlds, right? When somebody is brand new and they don't understand anything about that, great, they can just send them straight here. But when we can give you a done-for-you system where you have your own capture pages and your own site. So what we did as I started thinking about this, and if I was going to seriously partner with you and you weren't going to have the most valuable tool that is absolutely necessary, then I wouldn't be doing my job, you know, as your partner. You know that I've said it many times in the last several videos that your success is my commitment. So if that's true, I have to provide for you the absolute most important tool. So like I said, cost is always the big thing when you're talking about a website, right? Like $600 or $1,000 to put into a website and to have the nicest website that nobody sees, right? Because when you're new and you got a brand new website, who's going to see your website? Your family, your friends, right? The odd person that you share with on Facebook. Then you start sharing your freebies, right? You're getting 10 people, 20 people, 50 people a day coming to your website. Well, I'm going to tell you that if you can get your website up to over 100 people a day consistently, you should be able to make several $1,000s a month. But It's not reasonable to say, look, we talked about how growth works, and you have to put the work in, right? So spending a whole whack of money on a website is not practical, even though it's the most important tool that you need. You need to brand yourself. You need to have a vehicle to capture the leads on so that you're promoting you, not me. Right? I love it that you send people to my site, and I think it's a good trade. But should you be sending people to your site? I'm telling you, that's the truth of the situation. So what we did is Alicia has been working really hard in the background to prepare a system that with some minor changes, everybody will have a different looking site. So what's your cost to get involved, to have your own website? Well, you must buy a domain. That's approximately $10. Okay? So yourname.com is a good one, or your name review site, right? If you're going to do reviews on products and you're going to be a reseller, or you're going to sell stuff online, you can do a reseller site, or you can do more of a blog. And no, for this to work, you don't have to blog. We'll give you some cool tools where you can do all of that stuff, and I highly suggest you do, but don't worry about it right now. You just need your name and shining lights, okay? So $10, you buy your domain, it's yours, you own it. Okay, that's a one-time cost. And you buy hosting. Now, the truth about hosting is online you can get from HostGator and Bluehost and all of these things, you can get hosting fairly cheap on shared accounts. Okay, so we're talking about, I think you can get it for $8 or $9, or you can get it even cheaper, maybe $6 or $7 if you buy 3 years at one time. But if you just go monthly, you're probably around $10 or $12 a month. But the hosting is shared and it's slow. And if somebody gets a bad reputation on the same IP address that you're sharing, then you're going to share that reputation. So what we're going to do, because we have a different program, we never talk about it, but we have a program called the Viral Blog System, which is a very, very high-end product, okay, an attraction marketing system. And that's not what I'm talking about here. What I mean is that we have hosting that is super fast, cloud-based hosting, and what we're going to do is we'll give anybody for the next, like I think what we said we were going to do when we were in our meeting is that we were going to offer this to 100 people basically for the cost of hosting. That's no upfront fees. Okay, so I want you to go out there, like you hear me say this all the time, nobody online does this, nobody online does this. Okay, well, I want you to go and contact a couple website companies, even the cheap-ass ones that only charge $250. Ask them if you can get that website and only pay them $10 a month. And ask them to throw in hosting. Okay? It's not possible. What are we going to do? We're going to get all your testimonials, and we're going to sell it for what it's worth, and then you can make commissions on that when it's part of the club for the next people, because everybody needs it. And when we relaunch it for $20 or $25 a month, so that you guys can get your commissions on it, then we'll have a ton of testimonials. 100 spots, okay? So you heard what I said, right? 3,800. Well, let me show you exactly what we got here, just so you know. $3,839 members. Okay, never mind. It's actually $34.99 because this is how many members signed up and 280 unsubscribed. Okay, and then we're still working on getting these 52 verified. But basically, 3,500 people are going to have access to this. So if you have people on your team, you have people that need a website, okay, it's a $10 a month expense. It's the most, there's no more important tool, okay? I'm being straight with you. You need one. So what does this look like? Check this out. I'm just going to do this really quick for 5 minutes. Okay, so this is what your site could look like, right? You could have your name over here. Your menu could be here. Of course, these can say whatever you want. You can have any kind of a lead magnet or a sales thing you're doing here, and you can be doing the products. So when you buy one of these from us, every single product in the Instant Reseller Club is there. Of course, you don't have to make it live on your website. When you own the product, you'll make it live so that you can sell the product. But until then, just all of them are there, complete with sales pages. Because if you're selling a product and you're sending it over to like traffictakeover.com, that's okay because you're getting 100% of the money. But what if it doesn't even go to traffictakeover.com? What if it goes to yourwebsite.com? All the traffic that you're working so hard to get stays with you. Important, super, super important, right? So you click on the view demo, it would go to the sales site. You click on the review, it would go to your review site. Okay, so here's what a review can look like, right? Now this is a template. All you do is fill it out. This is your title. Here's your honest review of the product name. You write the stuff in there. You put a quote in there. You write. And where do you get the stuff? Well, these products, you know, unless they're my exclusive products, you can get a lot of this information from all over the net, copy and paste it in here. Okay, here's another example of a review page. Again, there's your title, pop in the video, the benefits, the star rating, you know, add your bonuses there because it's a review site, right? You know, and when they click the button here, they would actually, probably would not put that there, and we click the button, they would actually go to the sales site, right? So let's go back over here and show you what that looks like, this one. So if I want to view the demo of Traffic Takeover, I click here, and it takes me to the Traffic Takeover page.
Imagine for a moment.
Okay, now we didn't integrate this yet, so you might be able to see it says Traffic Takeover. But when we have one more software that Alicia's gonna integrate over the next 48 hours, and that won't say Traffic Takeover. That'll say the name of your site. So let me show you how. I got so many tabs open here. I'm sorry. Oh, I got to go over to. Now I wanted to. Every single site is going to be included in here. That means all the products, okay? But what about when we want to add a brand new product? So here we are, you know, you see Traffic Takeover, Article Buddy, so they're all here, right? But what about now, you know, where you bought the site and we add 8 more products? Well, how cool is that? This website here comes with the Thrive system. The Thrive system is $240 a year, okay? Costs $20 per month. Of course, we have the agency rights, so this is the system that you get. Every single thing that's needed to run a website, all of the scarcity timers and the testimonial plugins and all of the top tools that are required to sell are all in this system. It's the best system for WordPress, period. And we include this. Like, why are we doing this? Because it's my commitment to your success. Now, a new product comes in and you want to put it in here. Well, over here, you're going to have these, all of the ones that are currently programmed, but you can go over here and you can grab this coming soon thing. You can pop it right in here and look what you got here. Now I want to go over here. I want to change the image. And I'm just going to any image, okay? Just so I'll show you how fast that is. Boom, there's the image. I put the product name, I put the product thing, the price. I write my little summary here. And let's say I like this one, but I don't want them all to be the exact same. I can rate this one 3.5 stars. And then I go like this, and you see it took a little bit out of the star there. And then I save it. Okay? Like this thing, when I tell you it's amazing, it is, you know, you have a different, you're doing a different page and you want to put a pricing table in. Okay, so I click on pricing table. Okay, I want 3 columns in my pricing table. I drag that over there. There's my pricing table. I change. You know, this is not silver. This is, you know, like we had in our example before, right? You know, this could be gold, this could be whatever. You just type in what you want. Oh, you don't like the color? Oh, okay, well, the color sucks. Let's try this color. Oh, sorry, I got to click here. Boom. Okay? We're going to give you a system that people have to pay $240 a year. Then they got to buy their own hosting, and they got to get somebody to set it up. All right? Because I want you to be successful. And, you know, this is not about money here. This is about doing the right thing. Everybody needs this. Everybody in your downline needs this. You need it. And we're going to put it together for you. All right? So Alicia is dropping in the link. We are going to include 100 opportunities. And then the price is going to be about, I don't know, 20 bucks for sure, but most likely $25 a month after that, so that there's some profit in for the revenue partners and a couple bucks for us too. Okay? While you guys are looking at that, I mean, I can do widgets. I can, you know, I want to add a guarantee box. Okay, I want this style. Boom, there's my guarantee box. It's done for me. Okay? I want to add a call to action. Boom, it's done for me. I type in the words, oh, I don't like that call to action. I want to do this one. Okay, I like this one better. I want to delete that one. It's gone. I can change the colors, the text, everything. Oh, I want to put my social buttons in here. Boom. Okay, I want to make a custom design. No problem. You know. I want to add columns. One of the, you know, I want to pop a video in here. There's my video. I just click on this. I put the URL in there. My video's in there. There's no formatting. There's no nothing. This is true. What you see is what you get. Okay? You can add your lead generation form in there. Pop it right in there. Boom, there it is. Okay? And of course, we have an entire Thrive lead system that has I can't do that unless I go and show. I just want to show you really quickly because it's really important to see how that capture page system we gave you is amazing. Okay, this system is world class. Okay, so the capture page system is the best freebie out there, bar none. This system is world class. Okay, so I'm going to I just make a page. I click add new, and for this example, I'm just going to show you a test page, and then I'm going to publish it. And then I'm going to edit it with the content builder. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because when you want to make a landing page here, I go to the landing pages and I click choose. Look at them all. Okay? Look at them all. You have lead generation and two-step opt-ins and home pages and one-step and coming soon and download all. So I just want a one-step opt-in. There they all are. Okay? I click it. I load it. And now I can add whatever I want in here. So for example, just want to find one of the things I like. Lead forms. Sorry, I'm just looking for the Can you tell me where the countdown timer is here? You can tell that I'm not the one who uses it the most. Oh, there it is. So I'm going to pick a countdown timer, and I'm going to pop it right in here. Okay, this is something that they charge. This is something that they charge $30 or more as a plugin. And that's how fast I put my countdown timer in here. I can change it to wherever I want. I can change the colors, you know. That's it. That's all. I mean, there are so many. I can embed Google Maps. I mean, everything that you have, all these other things that you see on JVZoo all the time selling to website owners, it's all here in this package. It'll be a rare thing you have to add something that is not in here. Okay? All right, so I did it again, an hour and a half. I'm going to, right now.
You forgot to share the freebie.
Oh, sorry. She put something really cool, so we have to go back to that. So on your site, you can click on freebies here. And then, boom, you get this nice pop-up with whatever freebies you're going to offer, okay? Now, if a person types in their email, they got to get a password to open it up, right? So send me the password. And the system gives you a password. Now, of course, we would send this via email. We wouldn't deliver it instantly because then people would just cheat you, right? But then I put the password in here and I press enter. And then they can have access to their freebies. Okay? You've captured a lead. You've given them access to the downloadable freebies. Your premium lead magnets, you would put them at different places. Okay? So I want to answer questions, and then we will, Alicia's got the link. First 100 people get it, and then the price goes up. Any questions? If you're talking about the template, Greg, there's no problem. You can have the templates. Richard, you're a viral blog system customer. You already own this system plus much more. Today, Bruce, it becomes available today.
The link is already there.
Dale, it's your website. When you have it and build it, we put it in there for you. You conduct it exactly as you want. So you get the base site. We give you a product review site, and then after that, I'm going to do lots of webinars on how to sell through your site. But of course, I mean, your site doesn't have to be about products. You want to change it to weight loss, and go ahead. Yes, Richard, anytime you want to schedule a time with me, takes anywhere from 24 to 72 hours usually to get an appointment with me to work out what's convenient for both of us, okay? Yes, you have to buy your own domain. Okay, so your name is more common, so I don't know if you'll get dalenash.com, but you know, Dale's review site or promote you. I'm a big believer that your name should be in it. Okay, thanks, Richard. Thanks for coming out. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, Bruce, it's very simple. Everything that I put in here, we're charging you for hosting only. Hosting's $9.95 per month for a premium hosting system. Probably the equivalent to the hosting that we're offering is between $18 and $22 a month. We just $9.95. You're not paying for setup. You're not paying for Thrive. You're not paying for any of the other plugins that we're adding into your system. You just pay for the hosting. We have to charge you for hosting. You have something a little bit more advanced, Belinda. $9.95. That's right, Bruce. Any other questions? When we split back into the 2 meetings per week, okay, where we're going to do the promotional stuff on the Mondays, this is for people who are free members and to get them to start buying underneath you, so the revenue partners and upgrading to resellers to make you some money. Then a section like I did at the end that's promotional is not going to be at this. We're probably going to split into eventually 3 webinars per week, one for revenue partners, one for reseller partners, and one for just the Instant Reseller Club promotion. Okay, so are you clear on that, Bruce? We are charging you for hosting and giving you the whole package. Okay? And it comes loaded with all of the software, loaded with all of the products. But as a reseller, those pages are private. When you own the product, like for example, Bruce, you own many, but let's say Traffic Takeover. So Traffic Takeover will be live on your site. You'll just you'll turn that page from private to public, and you'll drive people to your own page. Oh, you know what? Don't worry about that. We'll see that you paid, and we don't have the funnel set up or anything. You'll get an email from Alicia very shortly. Now, there's no automation there yet because for a couple reasons. I never got to talk about it, but we're redoing our entire automated campaigns. So many people might have noticed if they bought something from us recently, you didn't get an email. Might not even have got redirected to the proper thank you page. But over the next week, we got some super special sales funnel stuff happening to crank up the revenue for your revenue partners, okay? Okay. So in the future, 1-hour webinars. I did not put any gifts in this webinar. Any idea why? Because this was all about action, right? And if you can't take the action on your own, if I have to reward you to want to make money in your own business, as much as I like to reward you, I'm not always going to do it. Right? We're going to keep that for the prospects And for the people that are super serious, I'll just make sure I have grade A content for you, okay? Deal? All right, so unless we have any other questions, I will wait another minute or two to see if anything comes up. My pleasure, Belinda. My pleasure, Dale. Excellent. Okay. As always, I appreciate you in ways that I cannot express, and I look forward to talking with you on a one-on-one basis, because I'm pretty sure we all suffer for some limiting beliefs, and I would like to make sure that that I help you work through them. Okay? So good night, and until we meet again.